Hello, everyone, and welcome to Small Talk. This is Small Talk episode 82. This is the Smallville Retrospective podcast here on the channel. I'm one third of your co-host. My name is Ryan Cam. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We are deep in the middle of season 10, and with the exception of one, this is pretty much like episodes that exist. Not terrible, not horrible, but just episodes that exist, with the exception of the last one, which we will surely get to. But Mr. Ty, I guess Tig Ty, how are you?
Yeah, I'm great. Yeah, by the way, that's a Battlestar Galactica joke because he's literally the same character from Battlestar Galactica. And I believe he even gets something happens to his eye where he has to wear like one of these things as well. And I'm just thinking, like, it's like literally they watch Battlestar Galactica and we're like, we're gonna put him as Deathstroke. Yeah.
At the time when that show came out, I didn't even watch Battlestar Galactica. I've only watched it so late in the game, and I watched a few episodes, and I was like, oh yeah, this is the same guy from Smallville and Teen Wolf. Like, damn, I gotta still get back on Battlestar Galactica.
It's on like Prime Video, like the whole
Yeah, it's
season.
supposed to be on Prime. It's supposed to be on Prime Video.
I'd rather watch the Battlestar Galactica movie again, which I will say that's actually was a really good movie. I'm not shitting on that, but this was shit. These two episodes I did not care for. I don't ever want to see these again. Okay, I probably if I ever do a rewatch of Smallville, I'm gonna skip through these episodes because I'm like, oh.
It should be for the 3 episodes: the bad, the terrible, and the good.
Well, with the exception of Beacon. Like, Beacon is
because Beacon was actually a pretty good episode.
But we will get to that. But Matt Wyatt and your subpar internet, how are you?
I'm doing good, other than what that fucking internet cut off on me for a moment. But yeah,
He roasted you, motherfucker.
yeah, I do agree that I don't care about those first 2 episodes as much. The first Icarus was not as bad as the one we got from the Matrix episode in the middle of the three.
Yeah.
The Beacon I really enjoyed it because we got Martha Kent coming back and we're resolving the storyline with the VRA, and we got the young Lex Luthor and Lionel Luthor trying to band together for only a short time.
Okay, we gotta cover this episode first before we get to the good one. Okay, you gotta eat shit before you can eat dessert.
Exactly. But before we do get into that, if you like this video, leave a like, subscribe, do the thing. We would greatly appreciate that. And just a bit of a programming note, we started our new show last week called Kitchen Talk, where we're talking about the greatness of Hell's Kitchen. Matt's never seen it. Jacob and I are super fans. And just editing that video and seeing Matt react to Dewberry, it is the highlight of my week. Like, just...
Good thing you have me on to be the highlight of your week. This is like the second show. This is technically like the second show that I didn't watch. With the exceptions of Hannibal season 1, I've only watched like several episodes of that show, but I didn't watch all the way through. Now we're already on to season 2, so that would be my first experience of the rest.
Before people ask, we are going to cover it, but we're taking a break again because one of our co-hosts is going through some personal stuff in his life, so we're gonna once he feels comfortable coming back, we're gonna come back and cover the next couple of episodes. But right now we're just taking sabbatical on that. But we're definitely not giving it up. We're just like focused. But while we have spare time, we're like, you know what, me and Ryan.
I mean, we're basically just taking a break. We're taking a break because one of ours is going through a little tough time, and he'll be ready to come back on when he's ready.
Yeah. Which, by the way, we were just kicking this idea. Ryan was like, we should do, because we were one time. I remember it was Batman Beyond.
It was the latest one. It was the latest one for the Batwoman movie.
Yeah, we were just talking like over the movie and just talking about Hell's Kitchen.
We were spitballing.
So that's how the idea came. Like, we should really do Hell's Kitchen. And then Ryan's like, we can go next week. I'm like, let's do it now.
I thought he was just fucking being funny. I thought he was being facetious. I wouldn't think he was being. He's like, hey, how about we do Kitchen Talk?
I was like, really? You guys would say yes, but here we are.
I was like, oh, really? I thought you were just being funny for a moment.
You can tell me no. Like, you could have said...
No, hey, I'm all for that. I just thought that for the moment that you were trying to be funny for that when we just spitballing the name Kitchen Talk.
I'm more excited about Kitchen Talk than I am the next 3 episodes of Smallville.
That's fair.
Well, maybe Dewberry is in those episodes. You just don't know.
You never know. I mean, Dewberry
the
Doughboy.
Dewberry from American, like what he looks like from American Dad. I was like, this
For the
is
moment
what
that Dewberry shows up, I started laughing and I couldn't take him seriously. I just could not do it. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yes, yeah.
In the hair like a
He's
big
like the southern
overgrown
fucking
muffin.
doughboy.
It sounds like maybe the Poltergeist. Remember the old lady that goes, "This house is
This
clear."
house
It
is
reminded me of that.
This
clean.
house is clear. I'm here to cook.
Or Tom Hanks from the movie Lady Killers.
Oh
I have
yeah, the
not. I
Coen
have
Brothers
not seen
movie.
Lady
Tom
Killers.
Hanks.
Well, anyway, Kitchen Talk episode 1 is now on the channel. Tomorrow, by the time this airs, it drops on Tuesday as usual. Kitchen Talk episode 2 will drop the next day on Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. That is my point. It's a fun show. I'm having the time of my life doing it already, and we're 1 episode in, so that really says a lot. But let's get into Smallville now and talk about season 10, episode 11, called Icarus.
I've seen this level of hatred before. In humanity's darkest hours. Every time it looked like the world would be consumed by hatred and darkness, another force arose to send the darkness back.
Well, this time it's us, and we need to start by stopping Slade.
Smallville. All new episode next Friday at 8/7 Central.
As the VRA threat intensifies, Clark takes initiative by closing down Watchtower and declaring the League go officially underground. Will this be enough to stop Lieutenant Trotter and Slade Wilson, aka million air quotes around Deathstroke, from exposing them? Tensions rise in this mid-season finale. So, yeah, I wasn't crazy about this one. Honestly, the VRA stuff has just been boring to me. Like, Matt, I don't know about you, but I haven't been a fan when it started, and I'm still not a fan of it now.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit ridiculous that they're taking all these heroes and trying to kidnap them at the end of the episode. Yeah, the only best part was when Carter Hall comes in as Hawkman. He was one of the best parts of that episode. Other than that, I don't really give two shits about with Deathstroke, even though he tried to kill Clark and now he wants to join him in the VRA. Makes no sense to me.
Like, one of the funniest moments in Smallville for me is when Hawkman is looking over Oliver's shoulder at the computer and he types it with one hand and he's like, "I miss my typewriter." And I don't know why I laughed at that so much, but
That was pretty funny because he's old-fashioned. He's an old-fashioned character, and Oliver's like, move away.
But yeah, this VRA stuff, it's over, thankfully, and I'm here for all of it because, like, Trotter wasn't not annoying, but just kind of there. And then, like, every time I see Slade Wilson on my screen, I'm just like, Teen Titans, a show meant for children, somehow did Slade way better than this.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah.
I did not like this episode because there's a couple things I do like. I like Kat asking Lois if she's pregnant, and then Lois threatened to punch her in the face. That made me laugh.
Yeah, that always made me laugh every time. Like Lois gives a little bit of a threatening to Cat Grant.
And also I like the engagement party. I thought that was pretty cool that he have all these characters back and everything, and the mob attacking Oliver, and then Hawkman and Stargirl showing up to defend him. Even though I thought the acting
that was pretty ridiculous. That was so bad.
Hey, it's Oliver Queen. Get him!
The guy just looked like he was mugging a woman, and then they come in and defend him. Like, I don't know what happened. It came out of nowhere. Oh, like, what is going on? The extras are so fucking terrible. The mob scene was kind of a little bit too far-fetched. Maybe because the darkness of the Omega is corrupting them.
And then like the guy like picks up the air quotes rock, which looks like styrofoam or something.
Are you trying to fucking do the martyr? Are you trying to martyr Oliver in this episode?
Yeah, trying to stone the guy. Like, what year is it?
What century are you in, pal?
Apparently this guy just straight up doesn't know.
What do you think about the task force storming Luthor Corp and rounding up all the allies? Like, they're like all these task force storming. Like, they got Dr. Hamilton, they got Tess, they got they stormed the Kent farm, and I'm like, oh, this is actually all right. I'm like, all right, I like this. And then it just goes nowhere. They set up they rather than a detention center, they put them in like an office at the Daily Planet, to which I'm just like
no, that's not how it works. You're supposed to put them in the detention center to get them in the interrogation room, not in their own fucking office at work of the Daily Planet. How did that make any where's the logic in that?
there's no budget.
Enough to remember in the Patriot episode where the facility was, they said facilities plural. And so, like, in what universe, like, is that the only one? Were you just bluffing? Like, surely, like the only plan was just to stage them at the Daily Planet, a people where people work. So, like, what were they thinking?
Because of the budget.
You know what? I will say though, Dr. Hamilton telling Lois do a crossword puzzle where he's just like doing this, tapping that, like this, like going, like, you know, and I'm just like, that was really cool. I like that because Dr. Hamilton, I like him as a character. I mean,
I always loved Dr. Amelia Hamilton. He's one of my favorite characters, and I love his banter with the team.
Yeah, which I thought that was great. I liked him. Yeah, he has a really funny episode coming up. I think the next episode is the really funny episode. He is like funny in that episode.
Absolutely, that's going to be a fun way to talk about that episode.
That episode, okay.
We'll talk about it's a blockbuster haul, and we can't tell.
It's based on a very popular comedy that came out. That
a very popular R-rated
very
comedy,
famous R-rated comedy that they basically parody in this Smallville.
Literally,
you'll never guess, Ryan.
No, I mean, we've had a Children of the Corn episode. We're going to have a Matrix / Inception episode next up. Like literally next after we're done talking about it.
Even Tron. And guess what? Because with Tron, that came out in 2010, and this is like in the early 2011. So yeah, how convenient is that? Because Inception and Tron Legacy came out in the same year.
Guess what R-rated comedy it's going to be? I wonder if you'll guess it right.
I would love for you to guess that.
Well, we will surely get there.
He's like, I don't want to guess it because
it's like I don't want to.
Is it American Pie? Is Clark going to be caught fucking a pie or something?
He might have.
He's like,
the pie fucker.
Oliver's caught fucking a pie.
The pie. And Oliver Stifler.
He's like, oh! He goes. They just get pissed like all over, like a woman's just pissing all over his face. And he's like, "Oh, baby, yeah,
I can taste the bubbles.
I can taste the bubbles." Oh my god, I want to go watch American Pie now. That makes you.
Now we got to do watch parties for watching all the American Pie movies. We have to do that. Talking Pie. There we go. We do watch parties every fucking episode of the Pie Talk.
No, it should be Pie Fuckers.
I'm down for that.
Pie Fucker Talk.
Pie Fuckers.
All right. I need to keep this channel alive, so I would prefer
we're getting a little way too off the topic.
I mean, it's small talk.
We got a copyright strike.
Like, especially when the episode is bad, like we just get all kinds of sidetracks because we don't want to talk about it.
You know what? I do have some notes on this, some good notes and bad notes. Okay. All right. So Dr. Hamill, all right, but Oliver and Hawkman and Clark all show up at the DOD and they're all just like, "Hey, I'm at the DOD. You're at the DOD." And then they're all just like snooping through shit. I thought that was pretty good. And Lois's speech to Kat was pretty good, where she's trying to say, "Look, I know you believe in this idea, but I really, really wish you just like." And so she explains that to Kat, and I think that was the Kat's defining moment, because usually Lois and Kat hate each other, and Lois really
we all hated Kat Grant until after this
the
point.
Worst character in the fucking show.
She was annoying as shit and really stupid.
She's
and
as worse as
small-minded
to Ryan. Like, she's worse. Kat's like, "Oh, hi, Clark. Oh, hi.
Yeah. Hi, Clark. Oh, hi, Clark. Want a cookie?"
No.
Huh?
There is no freaking character in this show that can be annoying as Phelan, but Kat definitely gets close. Not there.
I could have sworn that actress that played Kat Grant.
I remember
she was in Cruel Intentions 2 with Amy Adams.
Yep.
Oh wow, ironic.
She was
the second one, not the first one.
I heard you right.
She was the girl riding a horse so fast. Amy
Adams that one.
Back and forth.
Yeah. Like she was riding a horse so hard and running faster until she had an orgasm.
That's what riding a horse feels like in a horse. Looks kind of like.
Well, if they ever make a 50 Shades 4, that's going to be included in there somewhere.
Oh my god. But yeah, all right. So try to stay on top, but it's so hard because these episodes.
And failing
This is like
miserably.
this will you should probably make a montage of the blooper reel every time we mess up and we get off the topic and start dying.
Yeah,
That, you know
when Small Talk finally ends, I'll just do a big video of every time we go off topic. It'll be like,
Exactly.
Videos. Lois, Deathstroke hitting Lois, and like he's basically is like he doesn't even care anymore. He's like just does this. He just goes boom, and then all of a sudden, he just throws her around, and then all of a sudden, Hawkman shows up. And that Hawkman versus Deathstroke fight, I liked it.
Yeah, that was pretty dope.
Deathstroke just picks the sword and stabs him right in the heart. And he's like,
which it was a long time coming for Carter Hall, because we knew he was going to die at some point, because he mentioned to Lois that his time is about to come to an end, and because his curse between him and Hawkgirl, they were destined to fall in love, and then they were destined to die and live another lifetime and be reincarnated. And this lifetime, it's about to come to an end.
His funeral was beautiful. I loved his funeral.
I love that funeral. Oh, God,
that
it was
the best part of this episode, and it's not even.
I mean, even though they couldn't get everybody back, they used a bunch of body double extras.
I noticed.
Did you notice that they were all under the hood and they had to look straight down to not see their face, and you had to really pause for a moment to catch the body double?
They couldn't get Alan Richardson back. He was there like 2 episodes ago.
They couldn't get anyone back.
Can we get you for this one shot? Nope. Like
they were able to get Stargirl, they were able to get Black Canary back, and that's about it. They were able to afford.
And Hawkman. They couldn't even get Martian Manhunter back.
No, they couldn't. They couldn't get Phil Morrison back.
You would think he would have been the easiest to get.
Yeah, because this is the time that we don't see him. Because usually he does show up as a guest star every now and then, even in the 89.
I do like, though, and also Clark sending Slade to the Phantom Zone, which I'm like, that was so dark of Clark to do. Like, you said
that was ballsy. That was a ballsy move. Like, you set him his death sentence in the Phantom Zone.
And we've seen the Phantom Zone in this show, so like Slade's pretty much dead. Like Slade's dead.
You think he's gonna die in that Phantom Zone? You think he's not gonna last very long in that
he'll
place?
Come out and be like,
hello, Clark. Hello, Clark.
It'd be like Phelan from the grave. Hello, Clark. It's me. I'm back from the Phantom Zone.
He goes into the Phantom Zone and comes out of it in Morton Joe or something.
I did like his Carter's last words to Clark before he dies. I thought that was a little bit of a touching moment for me. He tells him that to not give up hope and keep going. And I'm sorry I couldn't fight the darkness along with you. I thought that death scene with him was a great performance.
Like that whole thing. Like, that was like Hawkman's finest moment right there in this show.
One of my favorite moments that stood out to me earlier during their whole little celebration of with Lois and Clark's proposal, he tells Oliver, like, not let fear control love or something. I think that's what he said. I can't remember it precisely. I'm just paraphrasing. I like that moment.
What did you think about Slade's line that says, say it.
Say it out loud. Say it.
Now I have overcome death's stroke.
Now I overcome Deathstroke.
This is like the third time, by the way, they made a pun out of it.
Yeah.
Remember they did the Man of Steel.
I am the man and Steel.
They did an episode last week we were talking about.
At least this one was not as too punted, even though it was a little pun, but not as bad as comparing to what I am man and Steel.
This person for stop making fucking puns in our script. Okay,
it's still bad.
If you're gonna be punted, at least sell this shit.
This is not Joel Schumacher's.
This grown ass man with one eyeball, like, said in the mirror this morning, "Oh, I'm really gonna scare him to death when I say I've overcome death's stroke. Like, that's really gonna spook him good." I'm just like, no.
When I've been scared,
it's so bad.
I have become he said I have surpassed the stroke of death.
Would have been great. That would have been a better pun, because be clever with that shit.
That's like saying I don't mean to be a Superman. Like, remember there's a joke in Family Guy where like Peter does. Remember there's a joke in Family Guy where Peter said he watches he watches the movie until like they say the title of the film, then he goes, you get it, He said it. He said it. And then it goes like, he
Right.
goes, we have to get back to the future. And then he goes, I am Superman 4, the quest for peace. He said, I'm just like,
We're sending you back to the future.
And then they
That's
say
it.
Superman, just parodying it, saying Superman 4, the quest for peace. I am
Another
Superman.
thing that was a big of a plot, here's another plot hole that I brought up earlier, and I want to bring this up again. Slade wants to have Clark join forces alongside with Slade in the VRA. When he was trying to kill himself, blow himself up along with Clark in the fucking facility. Tell me how that makes sense. Where's the logic? What's happening?
I'm glad you said that, because let's talk about some continuity.
Didn't you try to kill him and try to have you blow yourself up along with him?
Tess was a part of Checkmate, okay? Okay. Wait, so
Remember them.
she literally had security clearance for all this stuff. So how come they're like literally detaining her when she has security clearance? She should be able to just pull some strings and walk out of this. So I'm just thinking, why is this even like a problem for Tess? Tess, this should easily be, just walking away. And I'm just thinking, what the fuck? Did we just forget about that? It's like, there's another plot hole. She sold the Daily Planet.
Well, technically she doesn't have the clearance because the Checkmate, it's already been dead and gone. So
Okay, all right.
There's no way. This is a different This is a government organization, the U.S. government of the VRA, who are anti-hero vigilantes.
Surely she's got connections.
Also,
maybe
she's sitting in the Daily Planet office. Okay. Remember last season, season 9, when they got fired and she said Tess Mercer sold the Daily Planet, so now they have new ownership and there's a black man who's.
And she's still the chief. She's still the chief too.
He was sitting in the chief's office. Okay, like, so what happened with him? Did she just fire him? And say, I changed my mind. I'm like Jay Leno. I changed my mind. I want my old job back.
You're like Leo from The Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving.
Yeah.
No,
she's like,
I was just crazy enough to think. Like, it's just insane how she installed the bat slide. Like, you remember in Batman Forever when Bruce Wayne escapes out of there via the bat slide? Like, Lois escapes out of there through the bat slide.
Well, yeah, because that happened in last season with Tess when that horrible fucking wig disguise and slides down to the fucking building.
Yeah. Also, what do you think about this? The military lady's overacting.
Oh God, I could not fucking stand her. Her face was so punchable. I wanted her to die. She was overacting.
It's like that. Remember season 1 or 2, whatever. Whenever Clark, the one where that
the cop, the corrupt cop, the crooked cop.
No, not the crooked cop. The guy puts the neck brace on where he roughs up him, and then he's about to speed.
But what if that crooked cop actually came back from the dead and he came back as the VRA to Clark? Hey, Clark.
Literally every scene that Trotter is in is like, where are the names? I need the names now.
I need the name now, man.
Y'all know who I'm talking about? The guy who Clark roughed up and he tried to sue the Kents and everything.
Yeah.
And Lana,
Yeah. The fucking college douchebag.
The guy overacts. He says, if you come near me, I'm gonna get this sheriff to be all over your ass.
Over your ass. I was like,
she reminds me of a female version of him. Where he's like, yeah, I'm a bad guy. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. If you come near me, I'm gonna be all over your ass, Lois. And then you're just like,
I'm gonna have a sheriff all over your ass.
And just like, wow, that is so like cringe acting. It's like the whole movie. She's like this. It's like her direction must have been.
It felt like the director is like, you got to be really intense. You got to sell it. Come on, let's go. You got to be really aggressive.
Also, have you seen the Red Dawn remake?
Yeah.
So there's a character called Pete in the movie where he's the one that he tags along with them, then he joins then he betrays them to North Korea, and then at one point he's like dressed. They see him when they're in the thing, and then Josh, the boy from Drake and Josh, goes, "Hey, Pete."
Josh Peck.
And he just walks up and does this to him, and then the place blows up and he kills Pete. And I'm like, it just reminds me so much of Cat Grant. Reminds me of Pete in that movie where she's just a trader. She's like sells them out, and then all of a sudden she's like, I was waiting for Lois to go, hey, Lois, hey, Cat. By the way, that is a stupid ass moment in the movie, but I remember watching that in theaters going, hey, Pete. Just runs up to him and goes, I was like, what?
I mean, I guess it was a little more effective than calling him a liar and not calling him a truther. I hope some Drake and Josh fans get that reference.
I think most people who've seen that video of me on Instagram Reels, they'll probably know what it means.
You calling me a liar? I ain't calling you a truther. Great. That's a great insult right there.
Yeah, they've used that a lot.
Okay, where am I at?
Other than, whoa, take it easy, man.
Whoa, take it easy, man.
And Megan.
Man.
Which, before the Blumhouse Megan, like, Megan meant something completely different to me. Well, we'll get to The Matrix in just a second, but let's go to scores for this one. Jacob, 1 to 10.
I will say this is probably a 3 out of 10.
Okay, Matt?
4.
Matt liked this
I'm going to
episode.
go 4.5. I'll give a little extra for the funeral, because
What?
the funeral...
The funeral,
was
and
great.
the Carter
great.
episode, the Carter in this episode, the funeral. Best part about that episode. Other than that,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like the rest is crap, but the funeral is legitimately really good.
I can see
So-
it. You know what? You're right. And plus, it's better than the last episode.
yeah.
It's a low bar to climb, but nevertheless, let us move on now to season 10, episode 12, called Collateral. And oh boy, I wish I was watching the Michael Mann directed Collateral
Tom
instead
Cruise
of
would
that.
just show up and
Or Arnold Schwarzenegger's Collateral Damage.
Well, that's a good point too, yeah. But anyway,
Clark, tell me what you saw. I was in a lab. Someone was performing experiments on me.
With tubes everywhere.
They took away my powers laws.
And there was someone standing over me. Who was it?
Who's Chloe?
Smallville. All new episode this Friday at 8/7 Central.
Clark, Oliver, Lois, and Dinah are back home after a long VRA captivity with confused memories and robbed of all superhero powers. They believe they have been tortured in an experimental lab, but not by none other than Chloe, hence fear she has switched sides. Then she, or rather her avatar, yes, really, appears in dreams to each of them, claiming they only lost their powers in a virtual illusion. We told you it's the Matrix, folks, and it gets deeper than that. She calls upon them to trust her, break the virtual spell by believing it's fake, and thus escape back to reality. She then asks them to take either a red pill or a blue pill. Okay, that actually does not happen, but, you know, the Matrix references go deeper than that, folks. But with Rick Flag's team, Oliver does so quickly and is reunited with his true love. Clark wants to, but finds it extremely hard until Lois joins in. So this episode was the Matrix and Inception crossed over into one, like, phantom, like sewn together human centipede type thing. This episode was just
It's weird
not
that you went there. It's weird that you went there, Ryan. And it's weird you went to human centipede. That's the third thing you went to. Right. It's like, all of a sudden,
God forbid that you remember that movie.
the human centipede.
Coming soon to the channel, Centipede Talk.
There's like,
Oh, God.
there's like 4 of those movies. Like I know there's
They
more.
literally like made like fucking 4 of those movies.
One had inmates strapped with their ass strapped to each other, to where I was like, you know,
I only
what?
remember at least watching the
I
first
can,
one, at least the second. At
the
best.
only time I've ever agreed with the movie Human Centipede is when they did the inmates, where they all the inmates ass strapped. I'm like, you know what? I could get behind that one. I'm like, you know what? All right, I would watch that.
I got forced into watching that movie, like for not by choice. I had to get drunk watching it.
Someone told me, a friend of mine told me about that, saying like, he said, "Oh, the first one is really good, and then the second one is like a movie within a movie." And then I'm just like, and the third one is like they connect the first 2 movies and put them together. And and Eric Roberts is in
Yeah,
this.
put them together. Yeah, put them together. Yeah, got that.
The third one, I remember they said Eric Roberts is in it. And I'm like, Eric Roberts from The Dark Knight. Why has he been doing shitty movies? It seems like after The Dark Knight, he just started doing shitty movies. His daughter does better movies than him.
He's Eric Roberts. Like, he's in like 20 things a year, and most of them are not that good.
His daughter Emma Roberts is much better. She's a much more talented actress. You know, I'm just saying, I don't know why she's doing, like, at least she does American Horror Story every now and then, and like she does actually some good movies. He literally is just like, you know what, I did The Dark Knight. That's my highest peak in my career. I'm just not going to do anything else.
If you had to have one, it might as well be Dark Knight. And we are stalling hard, but yeah, this episode is
Because we really don't like talking about this episode because it's
not
irritating.
Good, y'all. Like, it literally is the Matrix. It's like all it's missing is like Neo in a club, like listening to Dracula the remix by Rob Zombie in a club, like Trinity walking up to
People
him.
in
And
BDSM outfits and strobe lights, and someone getting their nipples twisted.
You have Chloe playing like the Morpheus figure in this fucking show.
dressed
She pulls
in
the
white
gun out.
instead
She has
of all
guns.
black.
You're dressing in a white suit, which is something similar to what Oliver wore in the, I believe, in season 9, and that's in another suit that Lex wore as when he was the president.
Chloe literally pulls guns out, 2 pistols out, and does an action single like boom, boom, boom. I'm like, okay, you're fucking Morpheus. Okay, we get it now.
Yeah, because you're in the virtual world, she has the power. She's got the power.
I had a thought, like when it gets to the point where Lois and Clark are about to jump, and like the Chloe's avatar is hijacked by the VRA, and like the Chloes surround them. When I saw that, I was thinking to myself, "Oh, these must have been how the meetings started."
Ryan's
I'll probably cut that out in
Jesus.
post.
No, you're fine. I like that. That's hilarious. You know what? No, I was actually thinking the same thing. I was like watching, going, I wondered the reason. Do you guys think the reason why she wasn't in this season was because that Nexium shit was happening during the season? So they were like, we don't really want Allison coming back, because she's done that cult shit right now. But then later, like, well, we got to have her complete the story. So you know what? We'll bring her like for 5 episodes.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Tom Welling will probably discuss that on Talkville when they get there, and why she's not in the episodes as much.
Season. She disappears for the whole season and doesn't come back until the back half of the season.
Yeah, that's real odd. And they put her name back. They literally put her name back in the opening.
It's like Buffy.
Like Allison's book club has gotten a bit out of control, so we need her to go away for a while.
Yeah.
She's trying to brand people on the set. We need to really do something about this. What the hell's Nexium? She's trying to brand people with the word Nexium on it.
It's like the ending of Ghostbusters 2016 where Leslie Jones is like, "What's Zool?" And then, like someone like picking up and like, "What's Nevixium?" And not only is this a Matrix ripoff, but it's an Inception ripoff too, because like they have to get out of the simulation via a kick, but instead of dumping Leonardo DiCaprio into a bathtub full of water, they have to like jump off of a building, which is literally in Inception. That's how Ariadne gets through the last layer in the whole final heist. So like these showrunners watched Inception, took furious notes, and pretty much just like cut, paste, cut.
Well, let's be fair. Nolan did rip off the Matrix too.
I'm not saying
they kind of did.
I'm just saying
they just did it well.
Inception's in my like 10 favorite movies of all time. I know the movie.
It is one of his best work. Yeah,
I never.
Which I believe that this is supposed that film came out in 2010 of Inception, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And guess what? Tron Legacy pretty much came out in the same year, I believe. It had to be 2010.
Did it bother you guys? Did you get 12 Monkey vibes when you're watching Oliver in the Straitjacket?
Oh yeah, I did.
Little bit.
I remember.
Oliver's in a straitjacket, and I'm like, okay, what are they doing now?
They let him go, and then now they're keeping him contained in a straitjacket. What the? I don't. How does this make any sense?
It doesn't make any sense, and I understand.
Even they could not put 2 and 2 together. There's something off. Even when Lois and Clark investigate in the Daily Planet, there's not a lot of extras in the fucking room down in the basement. The only one extra was the fucking janitor, who's pretty much eavesdropping on their conversation, thinking they can't hear what the fuck they're saying.
I did like Chloe pulling everyone out of the Matrix by making them jump, except for Clark, who refuses to believe it. Which, by the way,
how about Dinah?
Guys.
What about Dinah, the Black Canary? How stupid is she in this episode? How dumb can she really be?
The Wachowskis needed to sue someone, and I know both are Warner Brothers properties, so I'm sure there's some crossover there. But I'm just sitting there like the Wachowskis needed to sue somebody over this.
You know what they said. You made Cloud Atlas. You made Clouds and fucked us on that movie. So, yeah, I think this is even Stevens. They said this is
it's not Cloud Atlas. Don't bring up Cloud Atlas.
I couldn't get through the past 20 minutes of that movie.
Then you get Jupiter ascending, and it's just like they made one. They made like.
I mean, I watched the watch along commentary on YouTube as I'm watching the movie, so I don't have to hear the dialogue.
Smart.
Let me ask you this though. So this is what I had an issue with the episode. Clark is listening to Chloe in the Matrix talk about how, oh, this is all fake and everything, and Clark goes, and then he refuses to believe Chloe at the end of this whole after her monologue, because he's listening, going, so that explains how this happened, where Lois is not able to wake up and everything, but I woke up and saw somebody, and they put me back under. That makes sense now. And then a few minutes later, when Oliver's like, I'm ready to jump, let's go, and then Clark's like, I don't know if this is real or fake now. And I'm like, you 5 seconds ago were believing every word she was saying.
And then you have someone hijacking like Chloe's avatar, gaslighting Clark, and now he's second guessing it. What the fuck? You were ready to jump off the damn roof. What is going
that's
on?
not even the worst part of that.
The worst part is that Dinah is really that dumb in this episode.
Yeah, like she fights Chloe, and then she goes, I'm sorry, I didn't believe you, Chloe. And I'm just like, what?
She literally thought, like, oh, she switched sides. She's now compromised. Like, what are you talking about?
No.
And she thought that she killed Oliver in the fucking gun in the middle of a gunfight in the surveillance camera in the hospital. And then Clark just finds Oliver. Oh, you're alive. So it must. So you're not a traitor.
Clark still, but after like the MP, after the government makes Chloe an NPC, and she basically shows up with like 5 versions of her, like Smith from the Matrix Reloaded. He basically is still like, oh, this might be real. I'm like, Clark, you're an idiot. You think this is real still?
You got to be a fucking idiot
Chloes.
at this point.
5.
You know that there's something off. There's multiple Chloes. There's duplicates.
This
It's
right
clearly
fake.
fake.
Okay, this 100% confirms this is not a real place.
The only best part about that is when Lois makes this little speech to give a pep talk to Clark, and they fly off. That was the only best part about that episode. Other than that, it was trash. It was such a fucking pointless episode. Who the fuck came up with the idea that the VRA come up with a virtual fucking reality to capture all these metahumans? Who the fuck thought that idea? What world are we living in right now? What's going on? And
Also,
somehow you can be able to turn on and off even from a Kryptonian. How does that make any sense?
Product placement in this episode for whenever Lois goes to grab some out of her desk, you see a Windows PC.
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
just thinking like, well, there's some product placement. I'm like, I'd be so angry if I was Windows. Be like, you put us in the worst episode. You couldn't put us in the next one. You had to put us in this one.
Contractual obligation.
Hey, at least they don't care if it's bad or good. At least it's in the fucking episode, and they're promoting
Tonight's
it.
episode is brought to you by the Matrix. I mean, Windows.
Brought to you by the Matrix. Oh no, wait, Windows PC.
I'm just like, wow, this episode is like literally. Oh yeah, I mean, I would be angry. I'd be really freaking angry if I go to watch this episode. I'm like, this is just the Matrix and Inception. If I
only like the part when she tells Clark to take the leap of faith and blah blah blah. That was the only good part. And he's doing the Superman thing. Superman, Lois flyby. That was the only good part about that episode.
I actually like that Flag and Deadshot were helping, them like out, like they were just killing all the
because Chloe was able to find a way to get them to join her side instead of just being a terrorist.
Like Flag just goes basically Agent Zero from X-Men Origins Wolverine. Oh,
That's true. Yeah,
it
looked like they. Yeah, that sequence is so very similar to X-Men Origins Wolverine with Agent Zero when he's doing that double gun move, or he was in the movie Wanted.
Hey Zero, you still shooting first? Ask questions later. Bang bang bang. Still chewing on cheap
cigars.
Yeah, Zero back to the car. That's right. Go on.
Back to the car.
Good boy.
That a boy.
You know what? I actually like that character in that movie. Like that's actually one of the best characters in that movie. Besides
in a shitty comic book
movie. Awful movie. Like,
remember that MTV thing in movie awards when they did that? Good guys don't walk in explosions.
And then like Will Ferrell, Andy Samberg, and then like J.J. Abrams is on the keyboard.
Speaking of Will Ferrell, the other guys are like that was really loud. Like that whole scene in The Other Guys.
How are they walking away in explosion? There's no way. I call bullshit on that one.
Yeah, I know. It's like they were singing about that, and like he says Mark Wahlberg is wearing a hat, and it's just everybody walking away from explosions and stuff. And then all of a sudden,
that a lot. I always love when they brought up in the Other Guys how bullshit it is when everybody walks, like every time they walk and there's like explosions behind them and they never flinch. It's bullshit. You would flinch. You cannot help yourself.
If I saw something blow up, I'm gonna turn around. I'm not gonna walk away.
I would flinch. I would be like, what the like I cannot help myself.
Oh, what that fun? That was so fun.
It will blow out your fucking eardrums because you're close by.
Yeah. Like, I've watched enough Mythbusters to know, like, if you're not at least, like, a few thousand yards away, your hearing's going bye-bye.
Yeah, do you remember in the Hawkeye show when Clint had his little hearing aid thing because he had loss of hearing? And they showed a little montage every time he was in front of the fucking explosions in the middle Battle of New York or Age of Ultron or Endgame. He's been surrounded by explosions and it nearly fucked up his hearing, and he had to wear a hearing aid or something. They did that in the show in Hawkeye.
I didn't watch Hawkeye, so this is the first time I'm hearing about this.
Well,
Hawkeye's not a bad show. I would say, like, yes,
it's more of a mid. It's a mid show.
It's better than Miss Marvel.
Yeah,
and She-Hulk.
Well, most things are better than She-Hulk, but I digress.
What, you don't like her twerking? With Megan Thee Stallion. There's twerk.
You don't like the twerking scene?
The only thing missing at the end was at the end where Al Pacino and Adam Sandler are sitting on a couch going, "Burn this." You
don't like when Daredevil does the walk of shame in that episode?
I will say I like that. Was hilarious watching. He goes morning. He walks away with his boots.
I wanted to laugh at that scene, but it just felt so out of character. That was so badly handled. I would have loved to laugh at that scene with him doing the walk of shame.
I will say the one thing I did not like is whenever like they had set this cool battle up at the end, and then they're like, "Stop!" She does a safe by the bell thing. Stop. Time out, and then all of a sudden she walks to the Marvel Studios, and Kevin Feige is a robot, and he tells
because that's like totally meta that Kevin Feige at the time when Bob Chapek took over. I already brought this up a million times over, and I'm going to keep reminding you that the AI thing that was like a more of a meta where Kevin Feige lost his authority. He has no control at the time before he got his authority back years later when Bob Iger came back at Disney.
I just think that was so stupid. I would never have done that.
That was way too far with the fourth wall thing. The fourth wall.
Doctor Who did that this week, by the way. Doctor Who did that where Doctor and them are going through.
I don't even follow that show.
And they go through a TV and they're in the real world, and they're like, "You're Doctor Who," and they're like, "Oh, we said." And he goes, "Oh yeah," and he's having coffee with them, and they're like, "What's your favorite episode?" And he goes, "Blink," and they're like, "Not my episodes. No, we like David Tennant," and I'm like, "Oh God."
But it was so stupid that She-Hulk was trying to rewrite her ending, and it kind of fucks up the continuity, all that stuff. That was like, the only difference is that Deadpool actually did it well with the fourth wall breaking, and he knows he's in a comic book movie.
That's because Ryan Reynolds knows how to do comedy. He
knows how to do it. When you have Ryan Reynolds, he gets it. He understands how to do it well and stay consistent to that.
They were trying to do Ally McBeal, but with fourth wall breaking, and the only difference is Ally McBeal's a good show.
And a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's comic book accurate to She-Hulk." Yeah, I understand that, but you just did a shitty script off of it. You just didn't do it well.
I mean, so Spawn was a comic book accurate, but look, they did a shitty movie off that.
Exactly. Or when Dungeons and Dragons, the original one, before the second one. Not the second movie, but you know what I mean, but with Chris Pine. But the original one with Jeremy Irons, that was more faithful to the game for video game fans, and that movie sucked.
There's execution. And the source material. Execution is the key.
Here's the thing. There was one time when I gave my thoughts on some of the episodes of She-Hulk, and I was very critical. And it's like, and people were like, "Well, it's made to be a sitcom." Yeah, I understand that, but it doesn't mean it doesn't mean you made it work.
Execution is key, Matt.
Execution is always the key. Just because you think you can do it doesn't mean you can do it well.
You ever hear the story? There's 1,000 great scripts. And not every bad.
It's like Malcolm. It's like Ian Malcolm said. Like, just because you can do it doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, every great script. There's 1,000 great scripts, and there's a difference between a great script and a bad movie. I'm sure Joker 2 had a great script written, but then the execution of the movie was poorly written.
It fell on its face. And there's there's a show called Better Things, but if you have not seen that show, it's a great show.
Mickey Mouse in it, and so is Bobby Hill.
Yeah. And she's pretty. Her and Louis C.K. are the creators of the show.
Let's go to scores on. Let's go to scores.
I'm going to give this 2 out of 10.
Okay, Matt.
3.
2.
3 out of 10.
You said 3 out of 10, Matt. You really must like this episode.
The ending was the whole Clark and the flying thing. Then the pep talk was the only good part about that episode. Other than that, it was trash.
I'm going 1. I hated this thing. It's not the worst. It's not the season 8 finale, but it's close.
But going back to what I said before I got cut off, you got to take a shitty script and sell the shit out of it.
Yeah.
That's the key thing. Even if it's a shit script, you got to execute it and make it work.
Well,
I agree.
let's move on now to our final episode this week, season 10, episode 13, called Beacon.
These are difficult times. It's easy to lose hope. We need to join together in this crusade so that our strength shines through the darkness like a beacon. That's why we need our heroes to fight for truth and justice.
Smallville. All new episode next Friday at 8/7 Central on the CW.
Clark is surprised to see Martha on the news speaking at a pro-vigilante rally. However, surprise quickly turns to horror when he and Lois watch as Martha is injured in an attack on national television. Meanwhile, Lionel reveals himself to the world and reclaims Luthor Corps from Tess and Oliver. Lois and Chloe decide to cheer Clark up by showing him videos from thousands of vigilante supporters professing their support for the Blur. So we get a returning cast member here, sort of, kinda, in the form of Lucas Grabeel, who I'll always know as Ryan from High School Musical, that whole trilogy. But however, he's been in this show before. He was in the one episode where Lex and Oliver go to their school reunion, and he was Lex in the flashbacks. So that was a very nice little callback there. And saying this is the best episode of the three is like not really saying all that much, but it's the best of the three by a lot.
Well, as you could say from the headline, Fascist Ryan from High School Musical. I put that in my headline, Fascist Ryan from High School Musical.
We can read it.
Isn't he he's a fascist in this episode? Like, basically, it seems like he graduated from Easttown High and was basically like, I'm gonna go kill fucking vigilantes now.
I'm gonna kill Clark.
I texted Collins, like, when I saw him, I'm like, wow, Ryan's life took a dark turn after he graduated East Side.
He's got a red hair.
Sharpay must have really did him a number on him.
He dyed his hair red.
He's like, I can't sing now. See, I can't fucking sing anymore because Sharpay took it from me. It's like, I can't even. He said, I'm not even fashion coordinated. See, I'm wearing a freaking homeless guy's jacket. Usually it's no. I actually do believe if Ryan was in this episode, he would be at least stylish. His bullets and everything will be stylized. Okay. They'd be like, these bullets are bedazzled.
Yeah, he would at least add a little bit of flair to it, but nope, not this time.
It also like, why is this guy? I said, wait, I hear show tunes being hummed. Wait, someone's singing about the assassination. It's that guy. I'm singing. I can't. Oh crap, they're coming. I should have been singing. And like, oh, here come the cops. I am going to prison. Oh, and the cops are just doing like a number dance.
I'm gonna shoot Martha Kent.
I almost said something really bad, but I'm not going to now.
Well, that's the key thing, magic about video recording. You can edit it out in post.
Yeah. Yes. But it's like seeing John Glover back, and especially after these two episodes, was like finding a canteen of water in a desert. I'm like, it's not much, but it's enough to keep me going for a while.
It's like walking into the desert and there's a Walmart from Looney Tunes Back in Action, and we got all the supplies we need.
Shout out to Looney Tunes Back in Action.
By the way, I just read that last weekend.
Oh yeah, and we got the returning cast and Annette O'Toole as Martha Kent. Since we last saw her in the second to the last episode of season 9.
I do like Lionel taking over the Daily Planet. Like when she walks in, she sees Lionel. She's like, "Oh, Lionel," and then basically, like, I don't think I hated how she put together. Oh yeah, Clark told me about the alternate universe, so you must be. I'm like, in a world where Darkseid, you have aliens and all this stuff happen, and magic exists.
And now we have multiverse.
Him being from another universe is more likely than him just being the dead guy, than the dead version of him being alive.
But also, nobody questions it. Like, yep, you're welcome back to the Luthor Corps.
I
thought you were dead. Hey, I thought you were dead.
He said the board welcome him back with open arms, and I'm thinking, this guy literally, he faked his death. Okay, so if we're going by his logic, you faked your death and now you're back. Okay, well, that is illegal. Okay, because Olivia Newton-John's husband did that, and he went to prison for that.
Yeah. Like,
So
that doesn't work like that. That would never fly. You would be in prison if you faked your own death.
I don't care how rich you are. Okay, and this dude went to prison before, so I mean, literally, he literally just like I can't believe that. It's like, oh, that's the explanatory.
That's like saying some celebrity faked their own death. Like, hey, let's say that Ray Liotta faked his own death, and that explains how he's still in more movies recently. And that would you would fucking get prosecuted if you faked your own
I
death.
doubt that's why he would fake his death so he could be in more movies. I'm pretty
I
sure.
know. I'm just trying to make a comparison.
Like, yeah, I was like, yeah, I just had to do 10 more movies and I couldn't do it this year for tax cuts reasons, so I just had to fake it.
But anyway, R.I.P. to Ray Liotta. I mean,
yeah.
With all joke aside,
I do like though that Luther Corp giving Lionel Luther giving Tess and Oliver the boot. Like one scene that had me really, I loved that whenever Oliver comes in and everything, and he sees like Oliver and everything, and all of a sudden he goes, in this universe you killed my parents. It's mine too, and I had a very good reason for it. And Oliver's about to hit him too. He's like, and he goes, hit me. We'll add assault and battery.
Add assault and battery. Come on, let's go.
Trespassing. Security are on their way. And he's like, just forget it. And I'm just like, then all of a sudden, you got young Alexander just gets a word in. He goes, yeah. And he goes,
I'm just surprised he didn't really barely get a word in with the whole reunion with Oliver.
I do like Martha getting shot by Alexander and Clark super speeds down there. Like the second he see her get shot, he just went, whoosh. He was out the door before Lois could turn her head. He was out the door.
That was a nice touch.
I thought that blew me away whenever he did that. And also the fact is, and then of course, which I forget how he found out it was Alexander. Oh yeah, because he had the Superman symbol. He crossed in the blur symbol. To which I'm like, that could be anybody really though.
That's true.
But
what about the Shatter Kryptonite bullet?
I like that. He's like, I wasn't trying to kill Martha Kent. I wasn't trying to kill Martha Kent. He tells Lionel, I wasn't trying to kill Martha Kent. I was trying to hopefully the blur, that's his mother, would speed in front of her, and then I would just shoot him in the face and kill him.
I was just trying to kill him, that he would jump in front of the bullet and the kryptonite would tear him apart, which I thought that line delivery with Alexander was awesome. Like, that's Lex.
I also like the Oliver's line whenever, he said when Oliver comes back in, he goes,
but hey, he grew his hair back. He grew his hair back after
that's
he shaved.
That's a negative
bald.
I have. I hated that. I'm like, he just grew his hair back. And I'm like, I want to see him bald again because I'm like, that is Alexander.
Apparently, he just got too lazy to shave it off because it grows back so quickly because he has a thick hair than the original Lex. Hey, at least I got hair now.
Yeah. By the way, I also liked basically whenever Oliver comes in, he goes when they're looking for Alexander, he goes, they said they're at the Luther man. He said they're at Lex Luthor Corp. They just gave me the boot. He said apparently it's Father and Sunday at the man.
They're back in business. The whole family's back in business. Yeah, Alexander's all grown up.
I love when he said that's Father and Sunday at Luthor Corp.
And also that the funny thing is that he could Clark was going back to the fortress to talk to Jor-El to see what they can do to bring him back to his own universe, and he does, and nothing happens. I was like, really?
Terrence Stamp wasn't available.
Apparently, Terrence Stamp was not available for this episode. So yeah.
Also, they're like,
we're shit out of luck.
We want to keep John Glover. They're like, we want to keep John Glover.
But Tess and Oliver were agreeing, like, hey, let's kill Lionel.
Because you sent Slade to the
Phantom. And also instead of not killing him, just send him to the Phantom Zone.
That's what Oliver's like, let's send both of them to the Phantom Zone. Lionel and Lex, send them both to the Phantom Zone. And he's like, that's murder, okay? He's like, well, one's a clone and the other one's from another universe. Send them both back. You guys, one's gonna die soon anyway. And then Lionel, he's like, not. We don't know.
But Clark's like, no. Then why'd you send Slade there? You're gonna leave him there to die?
Well, Slade, I understand why Slade was a threat to society.
That's true.
One thing I like
technically is a threat to society.
The Lionel and Martha scene. What do you think about that? Because he was about to kiss her too.
That almost felt consistent to the old Lionel that we know from the first 3 seasons. Yeah, which that would make a lot more sense to what he would have done if this is the old Lionel Luthor, except that he's more worse.
And then,
I like the part when Martha just fucking threatens him. Like, if you try to hurt him, I will destroy you. I liked her performance in that scene with her and John Glover. That was great.
I did also like the scene where like Lex knocks her the hell out. He just goes, "Mm," and then he goes, "You chose." He says, in both universes, you chose Clark, her son, over me.
You
He
abandoned me in this world, wanted me dead the next.
He goes, in both universes, you did not choose me.
You picked your son, and it wasn't me.
I'm like, that was just such a good line. I'm like, oh my God, that is Lex Luthor line. That is Lex
And also,
Luthor.
he has nothing left to lose because he knows he's dying because he's aging much faster and faster. So he wants to, like, cut up loose ends.
And he burns down Luthor Court, which Ryan texted me and said,
yeah, he burns down the Luthor mansion.
It took like 10 seasons to finally get rid of Luthor Corp. I mean, the Lex mansion.
No, the Luthor mansion.
Took 10 seasons for finally the Luthor.
It only took 10 years. It took 10 years to burn down that Luthor mansion.
What did you think about that whenever you saw him, like, burn down the mansion? What did you think, Ryan?
Kind of sad because, I mean, we've been with that house for like 10 seasons.
With terrible security guards.
Well, what it is they're trying to get rid of like continuity that's not part of the Superman lore. So that's like the Talon.
Luthor mansion. I definitely see where you're coming from.
Like saying, I watched your body fall 4 stories. It was the greatest moment of my life. And then Lionel let
that line.
Where he goes, well, he goes, well, he says a father doesn't wants to always make his son happy. Even though he was kind of like, oh, fuck you for trying saying it was the greatest moment. My death was the greatest moment. Well, a father always wants to make his son happy. Like, I was like, I thought Lionel, like his line delivery to Alexander.
I was like, what?
That was awesome. I loved that.
Also, let me ask you this. All right. And also Lex confronting Clark and Tess, where he pulls a pistol out and he shoots Clark in the side. And he goes, it just reminded me of that scene in season 4 where he goes, I am the villain.
Well, he didn't shoot. No, he didn't shoot him. You just pulled him at his gunpoint with kryptonite and have him weakened.
I thought he shot him. I was like,
no, he didn't shoot him.
I thought he said shot him in the little foot or something.
No, he just had him down to a gunpoint with a kryptonite to have him weakened, and he's on the ground.
Let me ask you this, though, Ryan. What do you think is going to happen with Alexander? Do you think he's going to grow up to be Rosenbaum, or what do you think? We're not going to tell you what happens.
Rosenbaum.
I mean, at this point, that's certainly they're planting the seeds for it. If they don't, it'll be a huge letdown, and I sincerely hope that's not what happens.
But also, he's finally like switching sides, sort of, because he now just like.
Do you think that's going to stick? Do you think that's going to stick?
He surrendered.
Well, what do you think, Ryan? Do you think that's going to stick?
I think so.
You think that's going to stick?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did like in the episode Martha standing up and try to bring down the VRA and standing up for Clark and try to get him to come out of the shadow. I like that moment.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, and even when now that the VRA has now been resolved, Clark is still questioning whether he's still going to be this person, like Superman, for instance. And he went to the future, saw himself to what he can be, and he's still not sure he can live up to it. And I still love that Martha responds like, Clark, you are the light. Whether you are wearing the glasses or whatever, you're still Clark Kent.
Let me ask you this. What do you think of like Chloe dressed like the Invisible Man when she's in the Daily Planet being in disguise? She's wearing like a hat. She almost looks like Nicolas Cage from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, like Benjamin.
She almost looked like the Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2 and had the top hat on and the glasses.
I'm like, what is this? Are you the Invisible Man from the old 1930s movie? Because I'm like, you just look like you're like. I was like, you look like a suspect, really, or Darkman.
You look very shady.
And Oliver also dresses up like like he wears a hoodie and stuff. Like when he goes down to the assassination site with Clark's already there. Shows up wearing a hoodie, dresses up like Nick Fury from like Captain America at the end of Captain America.
Yeah. Oliver's wearing the worst disguise: hood, streets clothes. Like
they would be checking your face. They would be checking your face because they would be like everybody because they were like, what if the suspect wants to show up to take a picture of his own work, admire his own work of art? Because he's still at large.
Apparently Kevin Feige and the Russos probably got that from Smallville from Worst Disguises Ever. Wear a fucking cap and wear a fucking glasses, and then there you go. You're in disguise.
No. Oliver needs to kiss Scarlett Johansson. That'll throw him way off.
There you go. Yeah, just imagine if Clark and Oliver made out in public, then you wouldn't notice them.
Well, anyway, let's go to scores, Collins.
I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10.
Okay, Matt.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8, but I still the best part about that episode, I did love when the people, the random civilians, were doing their own little video montage about standing up to the blur. I thought that was my favorite moment of that episode, which I'm pretty sure that they probably had one of the fans record and then put them on in the episode as
That's
a guest.
what I was thinking too. I'm like, yeah,
because those are not real actors. Those are not real actors. I can tell you that. You could totally tell that those are definitely the fans who follow the show, and they had this, and they probably selected a lot of the fans to say, "Hey, record yourself, and we'll give you about you defending the blur." Except saying Superman, say the blur.
It made me.
Like, well, you see the guy in Afghanistan
cringe.
wearing a military outfit going, "I just want to tell the blur I said thank you." And
I say thank you. As long as you do what you're doing, you're going to keep up the fight.
It made me smile and cringe at the same time, seeing A, the video quality, and B, like the beanies that they're wearing 2010s like YouTube, especially with the whole like the doing this.
This was back then. This was the old
My Chemical Romance era.
This was back in the old. This was the old days of the YouTube era.
Boys had the Bieber haircut. Like it was a golden age.
I kind of went through that phase that had that fucking look of the Bieber cut. I kind of did. For the
Hindsight, I should have done something like that. But anyway, I'm going with Collins. I'm going 9. I really like this episode. Easy to like this one. Easy to like this one after the 2 we just suffered through. But
the only reason I'm giving it 8 because there's still some plot holes and negatives I had that were kind of stupid. But anyway, yeah, this was. But I still think it was a great episode.
You know what? Sure. What about the needle? I never really mentioned about the needle.
Oh yeah, the ending when Lex is starting to get sick and he's starting to forget everything, and then fucking Tess looked like she was about to murder him.
What do you think when you saw the needle break? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, he's not going to take that well.
Yeah, but the needle broke, so apparently he's impervious to needle.
Apparently,
it bent, it broke. So what the hell is going on? And he's actually he's actually saying he's forgetting everything. It looked like he's about to have amnesia.
He's just like, don't give a fuck. He's not.
Hey, we all go crazy sometimes.
He's gonna be like Norman Bates. He's gonna be like wearing Tessa's outfits and go, "Hello, mother."
Well, anyway, I pass off to all of you. What did you think of these episodes? Let us know in the comments. We would love to read what you have to say. And Collins, where can the people find you?
They can find me at 3dmoviecinema.com, where by the time this airs, my video the first of 2 Final Destination videos that I will be dropping. One will be a live stream with these guys. The second one will be the first one's going to be just a pre-recorded one, just me talking about the movie. Second one will be with these homeboys, where we will basically be like just going into fuller detail about it. And yeah, about the first movie, because I'm doing a Road to Final Destination Bloodline. So hopefully it'll be up by the time this airs, and the live stream will be done. We will have done the live stream by Tuesday. So yeah, all right.
Matt, what about you?
Well, you can find me at MattY92. I put up my recent video that I did with a couple of trailer reactions to Predator Badlands, Wednesday Season 2, and then I put up my spoiler review of Andor Season 2 for the first 3 episodes. And yeah, definitely go and check that out.
And as far as this channel goes, Mission Impossible month is about to start up, and got a lot of stuff coming, kitchen talk. Lots of stuff coming to the channel, so stay tuned for all of that. But for Collins, for Matt Wyatt, my name is Ryan Cam. Hit it.
Sharpton for president, y'all. I'm outie.